Hello, I'm Creative Living's virtual assistant. She will be here soon.
That was so cute. That was so cute. All right, I have an assistant, a virtual assistant. The things AI can do. Yes, we are talking about affordable housing while living here in America, and we know the rent is too doggone high. As I always say, it is through the roof. All right. So that's why I created this community, trying to prevent and reduce homelessness one person at a time. And as I always say, it starts right here with us guys. So if you know someone that is looking for affordable housing, I ask you to share this video to them. We talk about affordable housing on Sundays and Mondays on here on this channel. Yes, we do. So I ask you to become a subscriber. I ask you to like the video. Hopefully by liking the video, it will spread this video to the people that need it the most, because sometimes those people do not get this video. All right, guys, a lot of you have been needing some legal help. You want to know how to read your leases. You want to know what your rights are, your landlord-tenant rights are. You want someone to help you be on your side while the rents keep increasing and you do not know why. In your everyday lives, you want to know how to handle your traffic tickets. You want someone to help you with disputes. You want refunds. You want letters written. You want advice. Well, I can help you with that. You can go over to my website at reekstraw.legalshieldassociate.com. For less than $1 a day, you can get an attorney by your side for any area that you need it in, not just in one area. So there are attorneys that will help you in all areas of your life. All right. So for less than $1 a day, you can have that. You can get a will done for free, all of that good stuff, and make sure that you are protected. I used to be a legal professional some years back ago. Now that I am not a legal professional, I allow this firm to handle my legal issues. All right. So ARAKESTRAW.LegalShieldAssociate.com. All right. So let's get started. So today we're going to do a little something special. We're going to talk about Section 8. I am going to give you some income limits state by state of an example of a family of 4. All right. So each state will be different for their income requirements to get on Section 8. And also, just because I say something on here, I'm not going county specific. All right. So let's just say in Alabama, for example, a family of 4 may have a different income eligibility limit in Huntsville and maybe higher than Birmingham. All right, so in Montgomery County, it may just be a little bit slightly lower. So you're going to have to check your housing authorities, but I just want to give you an example of what the income limits are, because some of you may not know that you may actually very well be eligible, especially if you are in some of the states that are really, really expensive, like California or New York. So that income limit requirement is probably much higher. So I want to get started. It's probably going to be a really long video today, but just sit back, sit tight, and I will get to your state. All right. And with that being said, guys, if you are looking for a particular state for affordable housing, please drop it in the comments. Let me know what state you're looking for so I can get on trying to find you affordable housing in that state. All right. So first up, guys, is Alabama. That's the first state that we were talking about. And they have different income limits. I'm just going to go by like a family of 4. All right. So usually a family of 4 can be eligible with Section 8 up to $62,350 a year, depending on the county. Like Jefferson County in Alabama, it can go up to be that high. All right. As I said before, Huntsville, I believe, is, let me just double check Huntsville. can actually go up to 50,000, I believe, and some change a year. And Birmingham is a little bit different. So a family of 4 in Huntsville area is 50,300, and the Birmingham area is 45,150. Right. So in Alaska, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit higher there. And Alaska is about, trying to see what a family of 4 would eligibility be in Alaska. $63,400 for a family of 4. So a little bit higher than some of you may know. So let's move on. Let's look through Arizona. So for example, in Maricopa County, thinking about the Phoenix area, family of 4, eligibility is about 58,300, guys. All right. Moving on to Arkansas. And as I said before, you want to just double check that for your counties, because each county will be different. All right, so a family of 4 in Arkansas is for usually very low income households, 29,250. So you can see a big difference there. All right. As I said, depending on probably what the rents, the market rate rents and things are as well. And things always change. So California, Los Angeles County, family of 4 is actually 47,250. But as we stated, checking those counties. Moving on to Colorado. Colorado, guys, Colorado. So what they are saying for Colorado. Family of 4 in Denver County, 37,700. So these are very big differences, guys. All right, moving on to Connecticut. Family of 4 in 2025, 48,900. All right. Moving on to Delaware. Family of 4 must earn about 48,000 or less to qualify in 2025, and that is for Delaware. Florida. Miami-Dade County, an example, is 48,000 to qualify, all right, for a family of 4. As I said, you want to double check though with the counties. And Georgia, a family of 4 in Fulton County is about 47,000. Moving on to Hawaii, guys. A family of 4 earning less than $36,000. To get what Section 8 actually pays. So Idaho, guys. Let me go back out, come back in here, and see why my computer is acting up. So Idaho is family of four, about $38,000 a year. And moving on to Illinois, is trying to find a county here to give you an example. $33,000. And it goes up. It goes up by persons in the household as well. So just to let you know. So I was a little shocked by Illinois, but like I said, you want to go by the county. So moving on to Indiana. What I see is I don't see a county specific, but I see single, one person starting at $19,950, and I see it going up to $37,600. So Indiana's a little different and lower as well. Moving on to Iowa. So, for example, like Polk County in Iowa, the income can go up to $48,000, but a two-person income can be $38,000. So it just varies significantly. All right, so urban areas like Des Moines and rural counties is going to vary significantly. Moving on, guys, to Kansas. Kansas. All right, so what I see is it starting out at about $20,550. I'm looking at the area median income there in Kansas. So they set the income limits differently. So there it's at either 50% or 80% of the area median income. So like I said, it just depends. It really does depend, but I see it going up to $38,750. Moving on to Kentucky, guys. I'm going in alphabetical order for you. So in Kansas, it goes by the applicants' median income at 50% or lower. All right, so that is the area median income, usually starting out about 17,700 in Kansas, going up to 33,350. So if that median income is still what it is, I believe what I'm looking at was a few months back ago, maybe about 6 months ago. Moving on to Louisiana, guys. Household incomes must be at or below 50% of the area median income, with some programs prioritizing those at below 30% of the area median income. But in some cases, they may be as high as 80% of the area median income, varying by the region and the family size, guys. So as I say before, make sure that you are choosing your states wisely. Make sure you're choosing your counties wisely. Especially if you have lost or have taken maybe a pay cut or something in this economy. All right, so Maine, guys, so you gotta bear with me, my voice today. All right, so Maine is, I'm looking for some examples. Theirs are the same. There's 50% of the area's median income, but that preference is also granted higher for people at 30%, earning below 30% of the area median income. All right, so I see it starting out at 20,800 to 39,150, but it will vary, as we talked about on the county. All right, moving on to Maryland. Trying to see what they're paying over here in Maryland. So it looks like I said, in some places it's a little bit higher than others. I see one person in a family can go up to 27,650, all the way up to 52,150. So it's going to depend on that family size. So Maryland is different. All right. So higher income limits there for Maryland. All right, Massachusetts. Moving on. 50% of the area median income, of course, with preferences in favor to those earning below than 30% of the area median income. Also, I see one person family size up to 28,600, and it goes all the way up to 53,950. So higher limits there, guys. Moving on to Michigan. 50% of the area median income. I see it starting out from one person from 20,100 all the way up to 37,900. So some of these Midwestern states, it seems like the income limits have been dropping a little bit lower. I don't know what their minimum wage is up there, why that is a big difference from what I have seen so far on the East Coast. But there is a difference, so be mindful of that. Let's look into Minnesota. All right, so I am seeing starting out at $24,550 up to $46,300. So at or below 50% of that area median income. All right, let's move. Let's go down south. Let's move to Mississippi. Mississippi. When I was a little girl, we had a spelling contest in our class. And I don't remember what the prize was for us to come up and whisper in the teacher's ear. Everybody came and whispered in the teacher's ear to see if we could spell Mississippi right. And we had to get that correct, that Mississippi. And you know, when you make it into like a little song, you're always going to remember it. All right, so Mississippi, 52,985 is what I am seeing here. Looks like it is capping out there, but like I said, it is in different counties, because I actually see one person from 16,300 income limit to 30,750, but according to HUD and a lot of people, they consider Mississippi as one of the poorest states in the U.S. So respectfully, I'm just going by what this says. So you want to be very mindful, like I said, of the counties, all right? Because I see different. Okay, that is saying that that's how much people are usually making there in Mississippi, capping off at 52,985. All right, so is this 30% or still 50%? Yes, everyone's still earning less than 50%. Priority given to those with 30% of the area median income. As I said before, earlier, some of these go up as high as 80%. All right, so that's why I am doing this today. Why it doesn't say Mississippi, if it's one of the poorest, going up to 80%, I have no idea, but that's what it says. Okay, so again, I saw up to 33,000 for Mississippi. Why, I don't know. But moving on, still in the south to Missouri, somewhat south. 50% of the area median income. They don't talk about 30%. I don't know why in Missouri, but it starts out one person $20,200 all the way up to $38,050. So this is Missouri. I'll say again, check your counties, guys. Moving over to the west in Montana. The percentage of the AMI can range from 30% all the way up to 80%, guys, of the area median income. All right, so a little higher limits in Montana. I don't make the rules, guys, but I am here to tell you what those income requirements are so you can choose wisely, placing yourselves on the list. Moving over to Nebraska, still over there. In the West, 50% of the area median income, and it can extend to 80% of the area median income, guys. So I see 21,900 all the way up to 41,250. But as I said, it can extend up to 80%. Moving on, over in the West to Nevada. 50% of the area median income, and for those high demand areas like Las Vegas, the limits are adjusted to reflect the higher living costs, and it can go to 30% or less of the area median income. Okay. Moving on to New Hampshire, going back over to is the East. I've been to New Hampshire. All right, so New Hampshire, we are looking at those that are paying more than 50% of their income on rent. Okay, so looks like the same here. 50% or less area median income. I see some higher caps though. I see for one person up to 26,450 up to 49,850. So you know it's going to be different in each county, but there are higher income limit caps there. New Hampshire, that was. Moving on to New Jersey, East Coast. %, or less of the area median income for New Jersey. A little bit higher income limit caps. One person up to 26,450, all the way up to 49,850. Checking your local housing authorities, those particular counties. Moving back down to the west, southwest, exactly, New Mexico. We are looking at a little bit higher income limits. One person 26,450 up to 49,850, guys. I didn't see any special extensions for 80% on that. Moving on to New York City, back to the East Coast. New York, New York, New York. All right, so in places like New York City especially, the payments may be higher, the payment standard, versus in a rural area, 50% or below the area median income. One person 26,450 up to 49,850, guys. So a little bit higher income limits. Moving to southeast North Carolina. %, or below, and can be extended with households below 30% of the area median income, guys. Family of 4 would be an example of about $30,000. So starting at one person, 19,950 up into $37,650 for income limits. Okay, moving up west. Would I say Midwest? Not really Midwest. But over to the west. North Dakota, guys, moving there. All right. Higher income limits. I see 19,950 for one person, up to 37,650. But somewhere else, and it's dated 2025, I see, so it's going to range by, like I said, the area, because I see North Dakota for one person up to $28,300 all the way up to an 8-person household, 58,750. So you're talking about higher income limits in North Dakota. Moving to the Midwest of Ohio. So even if you fall a little bit higher than these guys, like I said, double check. Do not take this for face value. This is just a general. So AMI of 50% and below, one person 20,250 up to 38,150. So we're talking about 8-person household there. Oklahoma. Back down, what is that? Southwest. %50 of the area median income and below. One person 18,250 all the way up to 34,400 for a family there. Moving on back to the west coast of Oregon. 50% of the area median income and below. I don't see any special provisions. Income limits are a little bit higher. One person 22,250 all the way up to 41,950. Pennsylvania, back to the East Coast, guys. What I see is one person 21,450 up to 40,400. Okay. Rhode Island, back to the East Coast, upper East Coast. And if I didn't say, sometimes people with disabilities can qualify for higher income limits. So please let me say that, especially here in Rhode Island. It is specifically stated that income limits is a little bit higher. One person, 25,000 up to 47,150. South Carolina, moving to the south. Family size of one, 19,050 up into 35,850. Check your counties, guys. Check your counties. All right, let's move on to South Dakota. Great South Dakota, family size, what I see starting at 19,050 for one person up to 35,850. I'm looking for extended limits rather. I don't see any. Yes, preferences given to those 30% or less of the area median income, and this was South Dakota. So 50%, 30 to 50%. Moving on to Tennessee. Yes, guys. I try to go by what I see as the fair market rent as well. Looking to see if there's any extending AMIs for Tennessee. I'm pretty for sure it should be in the states, but there is nothing specifically stating that. What I do see is income limits of one person $19,400 up to $36,600. All right. Moving on to Texas, Southwest. All right, so going by the area median income in Texas, you can say a family of 4 can qualify up to $55,800 per year, guys. But in Austin, a family of 4 can go up to $75,900, guys. And with the smaller rural counties, much lower. All right, so big differences. And I thought I would see that on New York. It just didn't state, but there you have it, Texans. You want a higher income limit, Texas would be it. All right, moving on to Utah. %50 of the area median income and less. I see a family of 4 up to 45,000, but Salt Lake City can get you an income limit of family of 4 up to 90,000, guys. Well, that tops Austin, Texas. I'm trying to see what the average rent is there. What the fair market rent is what Section 8 goes by. Not that outrageous rent. They would take those landlords. They would have to tell them that they have to have some fair market rent. I see fair market rent for 1 bedroom in Utah at $977, 2 bedrooms $1,186, 3 bedrooms $1,585, and 4 bedrooms $1,869. So, hey, that's pretty good, because usually a tenant is going to pay at least about 30% of the family's adjusted income, guys. So if those are the market rent and you just have to pay the 30%, you may fare well right here in Utah. All right, let me just look at something else here in Utah really quick. Make sure I saw that correctly. And I did. Family of 4, $90,000, Salt Lake City, guys. Moving back to the East Coast, we're going to Vermont. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. I see a family size of 1 up to 23,450, all the way up to 44,250. I'm looking for anything that is extended there in Vermont, but I don't see anything. But it looks like it is on point for some of those East Coast income requirements. All right, moving on to Virginia. All right, guys, check this out. We might have topped some things here. So in Virginia, the households must earn less than 50% of the area median income for Virginia. The eligibility is usually about $70,000. But in Arlington County, a family of 4 can make up to $140,000. Let me just make sure that is not the area median income, because that can't be right. What are they paying over there in Virginia? Let's see. It cannot be higher than anyone else. So I see 1 bedroom's fair market rent in Virginia for $11.51. I see 2 bedrooms $13.44, so it is a little bit more expensive. 3 bedrooms $1,758, and 4 bedrooms $2,107. Well, I am reading that correctly. 70,000. Family of 4 up to 140,000. Was that some error on their part? Arlington County, guys, Virginia. Amazing. All right, now we know. Let's go over to Washington. Back to the West Coast. The state of Washington. So income limits, households must earn at or below the 50% area median income. A family of 4 can make up to $85,000 in King County. And in Spokane County, $63,500. Let me check out what they're actually paying. So the income limits usually are about, for one person, a little higher, $25,700. Up to 8 people, $48,400. Says the fair market rent over there for 1 bedroom is $11.56, 2 bedrooms $1,441, 3 bedrooms $1,971, and 4 bedrooms $2,301. So you heard me correctly. Over in Washington, the state, 50% of the area median income or below. Family of 4 in King County can earn up to $85,000, and Spokane County $63,500. Let's move on to West Virginia. See what those income limits are there. It says West Virginia, a state where over 55,000 households rely on Section 8 assistance, guys. And if you did not hear my Section 8 waitlist opening for West Virginia, the last time I did it, I believe it was a couple of months ago, so you want to check the affordable housing playlist. They had a lot of Section 8 housing choice vouchers, not for public housing, not for project-based housing, a lot of housing choice vouchers, all right there in that city, in that state. So it can go as low as 30% of the area median income to qualify, so 30 to 50% over there. What I see is one person, 16,700, limits up to 31,450. But as I said before, check the counties, and it can go as low as 30% of the area median income. But what I see for the fair market rent is not as high as some of the other places. So that's why you have lower income limit requirements. Okay, so that is West Virginia. Moving on, guys, to Wisconsin. So Wisconsin is a place that over 33% of renters spend more than 30% of their income on housing costs. So Section 8 is a need. Yes. So you can earn at or below the 50% area median income. The income limits for a family of 4, for example, in Milwaukee County is $49,500, and in Dane, D-A-N-E County, $52,800. All right, so this is the Midwest, and we just went over a lot of Midwestern states, and it was not, the income limits were not that high. So take notice to what I said. All right, so if you are in the Midwest area, you prefer to be in the Midwest area, Wisconsin will be your place for higher income limits. All right, so I'll say again, a family of 4 in Milwaukee County up to $49,500, in Dane County $52,800, guys. So it can also be stretched. It can go up to 80% of the area median income. There is a great need over there. Normally, family size is 22,050 up to 41,550 is the general income average over there. But as I said, 33% of the people over there pay more than 30% of their income, and they will go up to 80% of the average area median income. All right, so that is Wisconsin. Up to 80%, so that's good. So let's move on to Wyoming. And see what's over here in Wyoming. All right, get my computer to move here. All right, 50% of the area median income, for example, a family of 4 in Laramie, Laramie County may qualify with the income up to $27,500. And the income limits, of course, increase by county or household size. All right. So generally, family of 1, $20,900 up to $39,350. So this is going to really be state, county specific. And that was Wyoming. And I'm trying to figure out why in Wyoming was that a little bit less, but I think it went like the Midwestern states, even though it's over there, but it has fallen in line with some of the Midwestern states. So their average fair market rent in Wyoming, 1 bedroom is $790, 2 bedrooms $1,010, 3 bedrooms $1,352, 4 bedrooms $1,660. All right, looking to see if there is any extensions for Wyoming. I don't think I saw anything. I just believe it was at the 50%. Yes, just as capped at the 50% area median income. All right, guys, so that is our states. That was actually a lot. There are other states that we know, right? We know there is, I did talk about Hawaii. We know there's Puerto Rico. For some reason, that didn't come up. I'm trying to see if I can get something on Puerto Rico. For those of you, we know that we have Guam as well as a state. So Guam has Section 8 vouchers. Puerto Rico has Section 8 vouchers. And who am I missing? The Virgin Islands. The Virgin Islands has Section 8 vouchers as well. So I have done those videos about what is open. I haven't did anything recently, but if you want to go back and look through the affordable housing playlist that I put together, you guys feel free to look through it. Share this video out to your family, friends, to the homeless communities especially. I say especially to the homeless communities. Why? Because a lot of times some of the homeless communities, they watch YouTube, but a lot of times they lose their phones a lot. They go through different phones, all of that, and so they lose things and they may not remember a channel. You know, if they did see this channel, they may not remember the channel. So I ask you guys to pass this over to those homeless communities. Let them know that they can place themselves on these lists. All right. Let me just see if there is anything else that I would like to give you as far as financial support or help. Anything else that I can share out with you. Okay, I was looking to see if I had anything new. This is what I can say. Is that if you guys are needing any assistance, what you want to do is you want to contact 211 in your area, and you want to ask them for these Section 8 programs. You want to ask them about emergency assistance programs, because we still have, as of right now for this fiscal year, we still have some emergency assistance help before things start changing under the new fiscal year. You want to ask about, and I'm just giving you different names so you can ask. Sometimes they're under the same umbrella, but they're under different agencies and they're under different names. You can ask about rapid rehousing programs for the homeless, transitional housing. I'm trying to think what else it would be called. You can just say affordable housing, you can say transitional housing, you can say, trying to think of some other names that it would be under, and just slips my memory at the time. If I think about them, they come up and I remember, I will put them down in the description, down in the comments. But call 211. Ask them about these programs. Tell them your situation. Let them find you emergency resources, because they are out there. Believe me, they are out there. They are called different names. They have different names to the programs. They are administered by different places. You can ask about your local Department of Human Services. You can go to your local shelters and they might provide referrals to you somewhere. You could go over to, I'm thinking, what else is it called under? I don't know why my mind is drawing a blank, but usually it's under the DHS services. So find out, ask them, just drill them if they don't seem helpful enough. Hopefully they will be really helpful with you and give you more than what I am actually stating here, but have them look around for you under different programs and under different names because they can find it. Let them do their job that they're getting paid for, all right? Let them spend some time with you. And I just feel like that I am missing something. The fiscal year for Section 8 ends on September the 30th, 2025. We will start a new year after that in October. And they will be focusing on primarily seniors and individuals with disabilities, all right? So not that you can't live in a house with other people. It's just that a lot of people on top of the list will be seniors and those with disabilities. So we'll be talking more about that. I talk about what the current Section 8 lists are on Mondays, what the new openings would be for project-based housing, for public housing, and for those prized Section 8 vouchers. Why they're so prized is because after you have them a year, you have to keep them for a year for whatever state that you were approved in, but then you can move on to a different county or a different city, all right? A different state that will accept those housing choice vouchers. As I said, you can even go to Hawaii if you want to live on an island. You can go to Guam, you can go to Puerto Rico, you can go to the Virgin Islands, all right? So put your names on as many lists as possible. Tell your homeless communities that they do not have to live in that state where they're applying as of today. You just have to be willing to move to that state when it is your turn, when they call your name, when it's time for you to be called on the list, all right? So that's all you have to do is be willing to move there, all right? So put your name on as many counties and many lists as possible because it is free. And I think I am done for sure this time. Let me just double check one more time to see if I can pull something on Puerto Rico and if I can pull something on the Virgin Islands, all right? I don't think I had saw that, but I just want you guys to have that as an option because so many people, especially with the Virgin Islands, wanted to have that information. So let me just run back through. I told you it was going to be a little while today. My videos are usually not this long. All right. Yeah, I don't know why. Did I tell you guys New Mexico? I did. All right. Come on, Puerto Rico. All right, guys, you're gonna have to go through my playlist. All right. I love you so much. What's our theme song? Living in America. Love you so much. If only we could sing it as happy as James Brown did. Be well and be safe. I'll see you next time.